The group stage of the 2021 CONCACAF Gold Cup is over, and of the 8 teams that are through to the quarterfinals, it's the exact 8 that I predicted back in my predictions video. Now, the orders of these teams' placements are a little off from what I expected, but in the end, the 8 teams in the quarterfinals are exactly the 8 that I think most people were expecting to be in the final 8 at the beginning of this tournament. Unfortunately, the trend of no major upsets continued, but there are still some exciting matches in this set of match days. From Group A, Mexico beat El Salvador 1-0, taking first place in the group. Mexico started off the tournament with that rocky draw against Trinidad and Tobago. We're only sitting on 4 points and not confirmed a spot in the final 8 going to the final match day. Gets the win out of El Salvador, finishes first in the group, order restored for the Mexican camp. And also, even had they lost, they still would have been fine and qualified for the quarterfinals, as Trinidad and Tobago in the other match only tied Guatemala 1-1. Unfortunate for Trinidad and Tobago after starting off the tournament, drawing the Mexicans to come out only on 2 points in third place in their group. In Group B, Haiti and Martinique played to a 2-1 Haiti victory. Both of these teams were already eliminated before this match day even started, so this game really didn't mean anything for either of them, especially considering the fact that for Haiti, playing Martinique, it doesn't even give them FIFA World Ranking points, as Martinique isn't a FIFA member. But Haiti gets a 2-1 win, finishing in their expected third place in this group. Canada versus the USA. Wow, this was a game. USA scores first minute, 20 seconds in, and then after that, honestly, it was mostly Canada for the rest of the game. Canada played a fantastic game, and literally 2 possible penalties that weren't called. Kyle Larin was injured, Ayo Akinola was injured, both the starting strikers for Canada injured, leave the game, and the US able to hold on the whole way through to a 1-0 victory. Gotta talk a little bit about Canada, represent. Fantastic, honestly, fantastic game. Gives me a lot of hope for their ability to succeed in this tournament. Yes, they didn't win, but they played amazingly. However, losing Kyle Larin is a major blow, and honestly, that is a huge detractor to their chances of moving on in this tournament. The US got the win, but they were by no means dominant. They were probably not even the better team for the whole game. But it shows that against not top competition, but like solid opposition in CONCACAF, that this assembled US team for this Gold Cup may not be able to get results required or play as well as required to really challenge to win this tournament, especially when they go up against teams like Mexico, like Honduras. Group C, Guadeloupe, Suriname played to a 2-1 Suriname victory. Again, like Haiti, Martinique, both teams already eliminated, so this game didn't really matter. Jamaica, Costa Rica fighting for first place in the group. Costa Rica gets the 1-0 victory. Come out first place in the group. Historically, that's the expected result for this group. For Jamaica, this is a bit of a disappointment, as honestly going into this tournament, with the players Jamaica has coming into this tournament, they really probably should have won this group. Unfortunate that they lose to Costa Rica, and then as a result now, they have the tougher quarterfinals draw against the United States, Costa Rica getting the easier draw against Canada. And finally, Group D, the most up-in-the-air group heading into this final match day. Qatar was sitting on 4 points, Panama was sitting on 1 point, but Qatar was going up against the top-ranked Honduras in the group going into this match. Panama got the required result they needed against Grenada, winning 3-1. That tied them with Qatar on points with 4, and given any Qatar loss would have put them through on goal differential. But unfortunately for Panama, Qatar able to beat Honduras 2-0. Honestly, a bit of a surprising result for me, considering that they drew Panama and then Honduras beat Panama, but that was a tight game. Qatar comes out, though, with a 2-0 win over Honduras to not only advance, but take first place in the group, which comes as a bit of a surprise to me. So that's what happened in the third match day, which means that the quarterfinal bracket is set, which means now we can predict the quarterfinals. So the quarterfinal matchups are going to be Qatar versus El Salvador, the US versus Jamaica, Mexico versus Honduras, and Costa Rica versus Canada. Qatar, El Salvador. Qatar beat Honduras in the group stage, drew Panama. El Salvador is a team that they should be able to beat. El Salvador is a little bit behind Honduras, in my opinion, probably more on level of Panama. Qatar, with the results they got against those two teams, should be able to beat El Salvador quite handily. Next match, USA versus Jamaica. I'm going to be fully honest, I have not liked what I've seen from the US yet so far this tournament. Against Canada, they just weren't good enough. And I think a Jamaica team is a team that actually has some of their bigger European talents at this tournament. And as a result of that, I actually do think that Jamaica has a solid shot at beating the US. Yes, they lost to Costa Rica. Yes, they didn't perform as well as they probably should have in the group stage. But Jamaica recently, especially in the Gold Cup, has always been able to push a little bit further into the knockout rounds than I think their group stage performances suggested they should be able to. I think Jamaica actually is going to come out flying in this game, and I think they're really going to challenge the US and probably get a result. Nothing against the US, but I think when it comes down to the top level talent on these two teams, Jamaica just has a little something extra in this tournament, especially with Leon Bailey. So Jamaica is my pick for this match. I know, big upset, but this is probably my upset for the tournament. Next up, Jamaica versus Honduras. This actually is probably going to be a very, very good game. This is CONCACAF to the max right here with these two teams going up against each other. Losing to Qatar has kind of knocked how highly I think of Honduras in this tournament, and Mexico, I mean, the stats, even though they did not beat Trinidad and Tobago, the stats show that they dominated all three of the games that they played in so far this tournament. Mexico is my pick to beat Honduras and move on to the semifinals. And now, Costa Rica versus Canada. When I made my original predictions for this tournament, I now kind of infamously picked Canada to go to the finals. Now, in my defense, at the time of that video, the US on their 60-man roster had purely MLS guys. Canada had both Jonathan David on a 60-man roster and Alphonso Davies. And then even after, when the 23-man rosters were announced, Alphonso Davies was still on it. He just got hurt in training for the tournament. So I thought that a Canada team with Alphonso Davies was going to go to the final. Now we have a Canada team that doesn't have Alphonso Davies, doesn't have Kyle Larin, doesn't have Ayo Akinola. I think the injuries are what's stopping Canada right now. Costa Rica, good team, stingy, hard to score against defensively. I think the guys that Canada have left are going to have a very tough time getting anything past Costa Rica, and Canada's defense just is not good enough. Costa Rica is going to be able to find a goal or two. Costa Rica is my pick to move on to the semis. Semi-finals, Qatar versus Jamaica. The guest team, they're the defending champions of Asia, the defending champions of AFC. And honestly, I really like what I've seen from them in this Gold Cup. This would be a second straight game that Jamaica came into as the underdog. I have them beating the US. I don't think they can pull off an upset twice. I think Qatar is a well-worked team. Qatar is a team that's here on a mission. It's not a thrown together B or C team like the US is. It's a Qatar team that's here to win, honestly. So I'm picking Qatar to go through. Just something about them during this Gold Cup. They have a vibe going on that kind of scares me. They're going to the finals. Other semifinal, Mexico, Costa Rica. A Gold Cup final without Mexico or the US, impossible. Costa Rica is good. Mexico is better. Mexico in CONCACAF is always better. This is not as strong or as strong as a Mexican team that we sometimes usually see. The U23 team that they sent to the Olympics is really good, and that has definitely drained on how good this Mexican team at the Gold Cup is. However, just the sheer amount of depth, again, that Mexico has over anyone else in CONCACAF, how much better the Mexican league is, and how much depth those teams have over anyone else in CONCACAF, always gives them an advantage, especially playing in like the southern US. That's basically home games for them. It's gonna be a tight one. Could go to penalties. Probably going to be like 1-0 or 2-1. Mexico, though, is my pick to beat Costa Rica and go to the finals. And so now, my new revised final for the Gold Cup is Qatar versus Mexico. Qatar's actually good. Qatar has a chance, but they're not as good as Mexico. They shouldn't be as good as Mexico. Nothing that I've seen from Mexico has changed my original opinion that they're going to win this tournament. I still think Mexico are the favorites to win this tournament. I still think Mexico is going to win, even if the opposition in the final is Qatar and not Canada or not the US or Jamaica. So even though the group stage wasn't as good as Mexico might have hoped for, it still wasn't anything too dangerous to change my mind that they are going to win. Mexico will be your 2021 CONCACAF Gold Cup champion. So there you have it. That's my predictions for the 2021 CONCACAF Gold Cup knockout stage. Qatar going to the finals. That's huge for AFC. I would say it's bad for CONCACAF, but it's not like they're a nobody from AFC. They're the reigning AFC champions. They should be able to go to another continent and perform. So honestly, anything less than the semifinals for them would be kind of a disgrace to Asia. But in the end, Mexico, especially if someone deals with the US and Jamaica for them, should be able to take it. So that is it for this video. Let me know down below in the comments who you think is going to win Gold Cup 21. And as always, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more of my stuff, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, link is down below in the description, and I will see you next time.